Good morning. Hey, we're going to be going through a lot of pages, but specifically page 114. This is really kind of a review on a lot of different things. But here's the deal. Today for science, you're going to have two sheets to do. Please make sure you fill out both. It's kind of really capping up everything we talked about so far in ecosystems and all the different animals in there and types of animals. But I'll tell you what, today we're going to have two sheets for your assignment. Tomorrow there's going to be 0, but we'll get to tomorrow after today. Here's sheet 1, and it's dealing with a lot of different things in your ecosystem. I know I just said we're going to page 114, but we're kind of again reviewing everything we learned in the ecosystem. We're gonna bring it all together today. But write down your favorite ecosystem. And again, this would be the rainforest, regular forest, grassland, whatever it may be. You could stick close to home with the desert. But I want you to think about the 5 animals that look up in your ecosystem. Again, I purposely put the page numbers here if you want to flip back to see for help. And then I really want you to think, what are 5 non-living things in your ecosystem? And then 2 plants in your ecosystem. If you did the grassland, don't tell me pine trees. It's not correct. If you did the tundra, don't tell me cactus. It's not correct. If you need help, look back at these pages. And then the second page is this. Okay? It's kind of the same type of thing, but now we're thinking of number 3. What's your favorite population in your ecosystem? Talked about communities that would make up the animals in your community, then the population. That's one thing. Then specifically in your ecosystem, what are 2 carnivores? Remember a carnivore? Those are the meat eaters, and then on bottom 2 herbivores. Those are the plant eaters. But let's get into this here, right? I know it says review, but I like to get to review. Every food chain starts with the sun. Then plants get the energy from the sun. Then we have consumers, right? Or in this case, herbivores. They get their energy from the plants. And then carnivores get their energy from the herbivores. That's just how it works. Now producers, those are all the things that, produce their own food. Remember, when you talk about producers, think of plants. But they need the sun to get their energy. They need the sun energy. All the energy they get from the sun, they make their own food. All the herbivores get their energy from these producers. And again, consumers are both herbivores and carnivores, because herbivores get their energy directly from the plants, and carnivores get their energy directly from the herbivores, which got their energy from the plants, which got their energy from the sun. That is how it works. Now, reviewing what we talked about in our community. There's a whole lot of different animals in our community. I know this is a fictional, the Jungle Book here, but think of their community. All the different things, living and non-living things, interact in the ecosystem. You had humans and bears and cats and monkeys, as well as a bunch of other things, right? The snake was in there. Crocodiles. All different living things that interact. This could be all different parts of the community. If you're talking about a population, you can just pick one. If you want to pick one, you'd have to pick the ants. Now, think about all these different animals in the community. Every single one of them wants food because every single different population has to survive. Now, let's think about this a little closer to home. Let's say there's 14 of us. We're talking humans, right? 14 of us. Lord willing, sometime soon we'll be able to get back in the classroom. I have no idea when, but let's say we're all in the classroom, 14 of us, and we have 14 Twinkies. Well, let's say those Twinkies are the last food on Earth. What do you think we can do? Well, as humans, I think oh man, as delicious and cream-filled as they are, I think we could probably get down together and say, okay, 14 Twinkies, 14 of us, we each get 1 Twinkie, right? Everybody, that's fair, we each get 1. Well, let's think of this way. So I should say now think, don't say no think. Now think if there are 22 Twinkies. Well, now all of a sudden we have 8 extras, right? And so if a couple people are hungry, they can eat another one. Or we can even split those 8 extra Twinkies into halves, and we can even have split up evenly that way, right? I know there'll still be some left over, but we each get one full Twinkie, each get half of another Twinkie, and then we have some left over, and we can figure out how to do that, right? That's not really hard to survive that way. Where it gets tricky is, again, sorry I put no think, it should be now think. What if there are only 5 Twinkies? 14 of us, 5 Twinkies. If that's the last food on Earth, and we only get a little sliver of Twinkies, survival is going to get really real, really fast, right? Well, in the animal world, it's not just a fun make-believe story about delicious Twinkies. That's real life. I mean, that's where we come back to the food web, right? There's real survival, because if that hawk up there is up there flying around looking for a rabbit or squirrel, doesn't find any because the snake just got that rabbit, and the fox over here just got this squirrel, and the different animal got this animal, and the hawk's got no food, it's going hungry. And if it goes hungry for a couple of days, it's going to die. It's really survival out there in the animal world, and so they need to fight for their food. And finally get the food in the competition for food, they're not giving up easily. That's why we talk about these with herbivores, right? Now, when there's plenty of grass to go around, there's not a whole lot of a lot of herbivores fighting over the grass and competing over grass, because usually where there's a lot of herbivores, there's a lot. Now, sometimes if you've seen some wandering cattle or wandering horses around here, sometimes they're having a hard time finding some decent food, so they might have a little bit of survival issues there. But when we talk about the carnivores, they need to really track down their food. They need to hunt their food, and they need to find it. And if they don't get a kill like these lions do, it's not going to go very well for them. There's some real competition, some real survival for them. And that's why this lion, even though this is a huge giant wildebeest here, it's not just going to leave it. It's going to really defend it and make sure its family gets all the food first, because that's not easy for them. And omnivores, I'm not saying they have it easier because they can eat plants or meat, but they have a real problem too. And it's all about survival in the animal world, and it's all about the competition. We're actually going to watch this video tomorrow, but you might have seen this or remember this, right? The fox is going to lose to the lion every time, so the fox has to find different ways to find its food to outsmart the lion, because it can't outrun it, it can't outjump it, it can't outfight it. It needs to find different ways. Same with the lion and hyena. I know we talked about this. The lion might do a lot of the hard work, and it's going to eventually get full. If the hyena can just wait it out and get all the leftovers, hey, it's going to do that. It has to do the hard work there. Which is another reason why, when they do have food, these hyenas will kind of get a pack together to try to drive the lion off. And it's I know you can't see it, but the lion just made a kill down here and is going to eat it. And these hyenas are saying, yeah, this lion, you did all the hard work. Let me go get a bunch of my buddies, and we're going to try everything we can to drive you off. And that lion knows, I got to survive. I need this meal because I only eat meat. I did all the hard work. I'm going to eat it, so it's going to sit there and it's going to fight for its meal. Survival is very, very real. You might see these hawks too, fighting over different territories. Some you might hear are called territorial animals, which means, hey, this is my territory. If I see you coming to my territory, I'm going to fight you to get you out of here because this is my hunting grounds. Okay? You go find your own hunting grounds. If you're going to start invading on my turf here, we're going to have some issues. And that's what these guys are doing here. They're literally fighting over territory for their hunting grounds. Here again, this is real life survival, real life food web in front of your face here. This lion did all the hard work killing the zebra. You can see all the other herbivores in the background. But you got these hyenas saying, hey, maybe I can come in and drive this guy off and get a free meal. And all of a sudden these buzzards have the same idea. These buzzards, big birds, are actually meat eaters. They're carnivores. We call those kind of birds raptors, but at any rate, they're coming in and saying, hey, look, this lion did all this hard work here. I'm going to come in with all my friends. We're going to try to drive this lion nuts so it gets out of here. And we're going to try to peck away and get some free food. Let's also get this hyena out here at the same time. But again, this lion isn't just going to say, oh man, I just got to go. I'm so annoyed with these guys. No way, man. This lion's got to survive. It's got to fight. It's got to eat. And so it worked hard for this kill, and it's going to work hard driving these guys off so that it can get its meal. Now, maybe it might rip off a leg or something and go somewhere else, let the other animals have it, so at least it gets something. But that's survival. That's survival and competition in the animal world. It is very real and very prevalent. Again, sometimes we have this competition between animals of different populations, and sometimes it's of the same population, because these kangaroos know how important it is to eat. And so if they have other kangaroos coming in their territory, they're going to fight for it. And sometimes they fight to be what's called the alpha male, which is literally the leader of the pack. And sometimes they'll fight for that privilege, so they make the rules and they make the decisions for the group. You can imagine in a forest, man, all the different things. They might think, okay, we have all this plants here, so not a lot of competition for herbivores, but there is. Because where there's a lot of plants, there's a lot of herbivores, which means there's a lot of carnivores. And so these herbivores can't just be sitting out here in the open, eating and munching away, because all the carnivores are going to come and attack it. So that's why it's sometimes neat in the tropical rainforest, because even this picture, there's probably hundreds of animals that we don't see, but they know. Competition in the animal world is real. If I get out too much in the open, I might have some other animal pounce on me. And so it's this constant game for herbivores, eating and also watching your back. And for carnivores, it's a constant game of hunting for my next meal. Interesting to say the least. And tomorrow I'm going to show you a video of that caught on tape and very real, and kind of neat having the food web right in front of our face. But today, remember, you have 2 assignments. Not really 2, it's the same type of thing, just 2 pages is probably better said. Fill out this information here. You can look back at these pages for help. It's all about ecosystems and 5 non-living things, 5 animals, and then 2 plants in your ecosystem. I know numbers 1 and 2 of the second page are quite similar, but I'm still asking you to fill it out. And then it specifically talk about the population and the cores and the herbivores. But hey guys, Lord's blessings to you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for our video for the last day of this week.